movie. We're purposely going to be a monster movie. We're associating Ernest with all these cheesy bad things. And by the way, we're also extending the movie by another 5 minutes so we can hit that 90-minute mark.
And they showed some good movies in there. Nosferatu.
Yeah.
White Zombies in there.
Yeah, some of them I didn't know. I noticed Nosferatu, but they look like a bunch that I wasn't sure with. They're probably the super unknown B ones.
I found some of them. They got Phantom from Space, The Brain from Planet Aros, The Screaming Skull, Mission to the Moon, The Hideous Sun Demon, The Giant Gila Monster, The Killer Shrews, Battle Beyond the Sun, and The Little Shop of Horrors, 1960.
I've seen Little Shop of Horrors. I haven't seen the other ones.
Nosferatu, they showed The Shadow. That was classic. But yeah, they had to get it past 90. That's like the Final Destination movies do that too. They do like 4-minute opening scenes. And Shadow the Vampire that we have coming up soon on this episode, like we recorded it. That has a 6-minute intro as well, and the movie's like really short.
That's so long.
Yeah, it's very long.
So I have some other thoughts here.
Yeah.
So one, is Jim Varney basically like the Jim Carrey of 80s and 90s?
I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so too. I mean, maybe his career wasn't as high, but he has that same impression, that elastic face that's just mesmerizing to look at.
Oh, so good.
And then I tried to figure out where Bryersville, Missouri is. So it doesn't really exist. Bryersville doesn't really exist. But based off of all my assumptions, assuming that Ernest had to be somewhere where he could easily get Bulgarian Miak, and Chicago, and his sort of how close Missouri is to Chicago, I would place it somewhere in the northwest of Missouri.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or northeast, excuse me.
Yeah, northeast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know how long that would be, but that'd probably be several hours drive to Chicago.
Now you got, so on the same day we're going to be unleashing an episode, just a data episode about all things Miak. So I don't want to touch on the same things, but where they were, he had old lady Hackmore in the car. So when they left her house to go to the school, they picked up the Miak. So it had to have been in the town somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guesses. Again, we don't want to get too into it. It's either like in town or old lady Hackmore had it.
Oh,
which is crazy if you think about it. And speaking of old lady Hackmore, here's something that drives me absolutely insane about all movies when there's a book involved. Okay, if you're a monster hunter and you have a book that tells you how to kill a monster, you should read it before the monster's there. It's like doing your homework. That's the one thing she said in this movie. She was like, I hope never hope to have to open this book. And I was like, you should have opened the book. You should have read the book. You'd have been light years ahead of everything if you would have just read the book.
Oh yeah, you would have known the milk. Yeah.
And then the second thing, and this goes out to anyone who's a monster hunter at the moment or plans to be a monster hunter for a profession. Don't write in stilted purple prose.
Yeah.
Think like IKEA. Just write directions. Like, all right, you got to kill a vampire. Okay, you get a stick about 8 inches wide. You sharpen it, and then you jam it into its heart. That's all you have to do. Don't be like, the love of a mother will kill it. You know, like, don't use flowery language. Just be exacting.
Yeah, milk will. Well, they did have milk in huge letters, right? But the A was missing.
Yes, the L was missing.
Oh, brother. Yeah, the L was missing. Oh man. Yeah. So I was thinking Miak.
I was reading this Reddit about Miak, and someone goes, "What I love about it is that Ernest stopped at the first letter of the alphabet." And I was like, that's the smartest thing I've heard today.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he didn't. Miak. Oh yeah, that's good. I mean, that's so funny.
And here's something that is really weird. Is the troll a single dad?
Oh, see, you're trying to humanize it, and I don't like this.
Oh, really?
Because he's like, grow my children. But they're not really his children, are they?
That's the question. It makes no sense because it's a tree that sprouts Brussels sprouts and then grows into fully grown and clothed trolls that are both male and female.
Yeah, those things grow quick. Magic.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, in my head, what I think is going on is that there is no need for multiple genders in the troll world. They just grow on trees.
Wow. So how do they reproduce themselves once they're once the giant Brussels sprouts become them?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's implied by having both male and female, but they also come from trees. So like the other option is like a pregnant troll turns into a tree. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna just ignore it and assume that he's a single father.
No, you know what I love so much is when the townsfolk show up to battle the trolls. The trolls just hand it to them. I love it how they show up ready to brawl and they just get beat up. And there's just humans getting like the one troll's on that ladybug guy, like smacking his butt with a fly swatter.
I mean, that scene is actually very scary for a little kid because when the trolls first get hit with milk, they turn into a blob of goo, like blood.
Disgusting. And they go after that girl too. And this movie did not take it easy on children.
No. And here's the thing, I don't think it should have. Like,
no.
Really good stories, even kid stories, has that element of danger to it. Like if you think of all the grim fairy tales, they're very dark.
So I don't want to seem like I'm just promoting everything, but I wrote an article for Cracked about terrifying PG creations. And if you think about in 89, 90, 91, and it kind of, post when PG-13 and R-rated movies, when those were a thing, because you can find terrifying things before PG-13 was a thing. But you had the witches, you had little monsters, you had the Black Cauldron, you had some very adult-themed PG movies.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't exist anymore.
Not really, no. And one of the things I wanted to make sure you mentioned was Hocus Pocus.
Oh, so, yeah.
The zombie in that movie, if you think about it, that is terrifying. It is someone who's had his mouth shut and buried alive.
It's bad. Yeah,
and he's wandering around, and like they play it like kind of funny, but this guy is was enslaved and tortured.
If you stopped and thought about it, you're gonna have a bad night.
Yes, yeah. So maybe watch this when you're 9. Maybe 10.
How old were you? Like 6?
8.
8. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the theater. I guess I would have been 7 or 8. And I was 8 when I saw. We talked about this on the last episode. Freddy's Dead. So Imagine seeing this and Freddy's Dead within like the same year. Like that just shows how wildly different my tastes were.
What was scarier to you, that Freddy's Dead or Ernest Scared Stupid?
This was.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy because Freddy is like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I kind of thought of him as a joke, and it was like watching older people die. And as you talked about earlier, like these were kids, these were people my age or just like slightly older than me being captured. So that touched me a lot more.
Just doing regular things.
Yeah. And you mentioned Witches. Witches is, I think, one of the scariest kids movies ever made.
Oh goodness. You know what's the freakiest part about Witches? And even before you get to Angelica Houston, there's a kid up in a tree, and this woman comes down, like, come with me, I'll give you this. And then she pulls out a snake. She wants to murder this child. It's a random woman coming up to this kid in his house, trying to entice him with, I got goosebumps just talking about it. That's a weird moment. This random woman just wants to eat him and kill him by enticing him with a snake. It's evil.
Yeah, for me, it was when they took all their skin off and revealed themselves as witches.
And then they became mice and got hacked to death with blades.
Yeah, was that Roald Dahl? I think it was Roald Dahl.
Yeah, Roald Dahl. Yeah, so, hey, let's do something. Let's take a break. You're freaking me out too much, man. I need to go get some fresh air and unwind because I'm getting scared even though it's daylight. But when we come back, we'll talk more Ernest Scared Stupid. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I was okay, but now I'm not okay because we're going to rank the 5 children, or we're going to talk about the 5 kids who are turned into wooden statues in this movie and how various and evil it is and how Trantor does it. It's terrifying. I hate it. So the first one is Joey. And so Ernest wakens Trantor, the kids run away, and Joey's just walking through the woods for some reason, and he falls into a hole, and he's just screaming for help. Then you have the troll mimicking Ernest's voice. I got you, little buddy. And just the kid looks up, sees the troll's face. They touch, they grab hands, and Joey screams in absolute fear and agony while he's being turned into a wooden statue.
Yeah, this one's really scary for a couple reasons. One, he's trapped and thinks he's being saved, and he can't see because he's lost his glasses, I believe.
Yep.
And then you think you're being saved by your friend who just helped you fight off a bunch of bullies. Like, it hits a lot of nerves.
Of a 9-year-old, you don't see that coming.
Not at all. No.
And just the smile on the troll's face. And the second one is the one that hit me the hardest out of all 5. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Well, so I grew up in the woods of Florida. And so it was kind of called Hudson. Not really the woods. It's built up now, but I lived in these subdivisions where there were wooded areas and you could ride around, and there's just a lot of wooded areas you could ride your bike around out there before it was really built up. And so you're riding your bike around to a sound that kind of looks like this town in this movie, and the troll just randomly grabs the kid. The kid isn't part of the movie. He's just doing his thing. He's skateboarding, and he just gets grabbed. Like, in movies, there's always the cursed. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, you're going after campers or camp counselors. Nose, they're going after the children of the people that burned him. Drag Me to Hell, the girl's cursed. Cabin in the Woods, they go to a cabin. This kid was just skateboarding, and he got caught. Isn't that terrifying?
It is. This of the 5 captures, this is also the one that got me the most because it feels the most realistic. This didn't really affect me as a kid, but as an adult watching this, I was like, oh, this is exactly how this would happen. Just there's some kid with no parents around, yoink.
And that's brutal in a PG movie.
Yeah.
I mean, normally it's like there's a couple kids that have to save the day. You never see collateral damage like this in movies. Nuts.
In the script, they're like, oh, we don't have 5 kids. Just grab a random one.
It's nuts. And then Elizabeth, the next one, and this one's freaky too because the troll levitates.
Does he levitates?
Well, think about it, right? He's under the bed. The mom refuses to check because she's a movie mom in the 90s. Elizabeth looks under the bed as the troll gets out from under the bed. This massive troll who's slightly shorter gets onto a bed, which I'm sure it's a kid's bed, so it's not like a Serta. If someone's going to step on the other side of the bed, you're going to feel it. So this 100+ pound troll gets onto a bed without Elizabeth feeling it.
You just blew my mind, honestly, because I didn't put any of that together.
So there's no way that troll. And so it had to have jumped. It had to go really quickly when she looked. Or when she was looking down, it came from under a corner, right? But that troll had to run and get comfy. It had to hustle. So
this is my favorite capture of all 5 of them. Because this implies the joke, let me try that again. This implies that the troll has a sense of humor. Because he didn't have to lay down in bed and smile at her when she turned around. He could have just grabbed her from behind and that would have been it. But he took the time to scare her and screw with her.
Yeah, and he was smiling when she turned around.
Yeah.
He was that confident. Another very scary thing is her parents were home.
Yeah. They just put her to bed, I think.
No, she had to go get changed to go to the Halloween thing.
Oh, yeah.
But they're there. They're awake. And the troll just gets into the house regardless. So all these kids who think they're safe in their homes, they think about Ernest. They're like, well, I'm not safe anymore. Right?
Yeah. It's primal. It's like a primal fear. Like you're not safe in your bedroom. The people that you think are going to save you aren't going to protect you. You're not safe having fun.
Just give up.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you go. The troll is going to get you.
Oh. And now next is the friend of Joey. Not Joey. The friend of the main kid. I have his name up here. His name is Kenny. Oh, why did I forget Kenny? So Kenny is walking around. He sees his buddy who's dressed up in kind of like an Indian costume. And then you hear Elizabeth's voice, and he looks into this kind of, tunnel? Not a tunnel, like a concrete thing used for whatever construction. They look into it. Kenny turns around, and his buddy is just done for. So the kid is just walking around on a calm, quiet, nice suburban street, and he sees his friend. You're with somebody else, and a troll gets you. So you don't even, like the skateboarder kid, you can be superfluous to the plot, and the troll's going to get you. I hate it. Two of them. It's evil.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the final one.
Matt. Okay, so in this scene, if you maybe watch it again, I know, but Matt is screaming. So Matt the bully is at the costume contest, and the troll comes up. I think the troll walks up, to enter the contest, like a joke.
Yeah. Again, he has a great sense of humor.
I don't think the troll would have messed with Matt.